Today, we're putting 4 seriously crazy AI video generators head-to-head. And these aren't just random tools you find on the internet. Some pretty big companies are behind them. And the level of realism you can get out of these things is honestly getting kinda wild. We're gonna push every tool with 3 different prompts, starting simple and then making the scenes more intense, so we can actually see which one holds up when things get complicated. And at the end, I'll pick the one that I think comes out on top. But honestly, my opinion is only one part of it, so I want to hear yours too. Once you've seen all the results, drop a comment and tell me which tool you'd actually choose. Alright, let's get into it. But before we start, there's one thing you should know. These tools aren't completely free. You can still jump in and test a few prompts with the credits they give you though, and most of them give you more credits on a daily basis. So if you just want to mess around, test some ideas, or see what kind of videos you can get out of them, you can definitely do that without paying right away. And if you end up liking one of them and want to use it more seriously, then you can always check out the subscription later. For the prompts and other resources I'm using in this video, you'll find the link in the description. Alright, first up we've got tool number 4, Qwen AI. To get started, just search for Qwen AI in your browser, open the right website, and log into your account. Once you're in, we can get straight to the testing. For the first generation, I'm going with a pretty intense first-person scene. A high-speed train ripping through a narrow mountain canyon, with huge rock walls flying past, strong wind, sparks, and realistic track movement. And yeah, this one came out really nice. The overall detail is sharp, the motion feels smooth, and the environment actually gives you that feeling of speed. For a first test, Qwen is definitely starting off strong. Now let's switch things up with the second prompt. This time, we're taking a snowmobile up a steep mountain ridge at crazy speed, with powder blasting behind and huge drops on both sides. And honestly, this result looks pretty damn good too. The snow physics work really well, the movement feels natural, and the suspension adds a nice bit of realism to the shot. It doesn't feel like the whole scene is just sliding across the screen, which is a big plus. Alright, one more test for Qwen, and this time we're going all in. I'm putting a skier on a downhill run with a massive avalanche coming straight down the mountain behind them. There's snow flying everywhere, aggressive camera movement, and a lot more happening in the frame. And yeah, Qwen handled this one really well. The quality stays surprisingly clean even with all that movement going on, and the avalanche gives the shot some serious energy. So far, these 3 generations are looking pretty solid. Cool. Now let's jump over to tool number 3, Vibes AI. This one is backed by Meta, so obviously I'm expecting some pretty interesting results here. The overall quality is pretty close to what we just saw, although every now and then you might notice a small glitch in certain generations. Nothing too crazy, but it's there. One thing I really like though, is that Vibes can generate 4 videos at once, which is super useful when you're testing a bunch of ideas and don't want to sit around generating them one by one. For the first test, I'm going with a Jeep tearing through the desert while a massive tornado starts forming behind it. You've got dust flying everywhere, the vehicle bouncing over the terrain, and that huge tornado moving in the background. And honestly, this came out pretty clean. The sense of movement is really good, and the scale of the tornado makes the whole shot feel way more intense. Now let's switch from a desert to a giant glacier. The second prompt has us skiing across a massive sheet of ice while deep crevasses start opening up along the route, with ice flying around and mountains sitting way off in the distance. And this one looks really good too. The snow movement feels believable, the environment has a ton of depth, and the high-speed camera movement makes it feel like you're actually flying across that glacier. For the last generation, we're going somewhere completely different. Underground. This prompt has a small speedboat racing through a huge river cave, with massive rock formations overhead, water splashing around the camera, and those sudden beams of light showing up ahead. And yeah, this one is pretty sick. The cave environment looks detailed, the water movement adds a lot to the scene, and that light coming through at the end gives the whole shot a really cool cinematic feel. Overall, Vibes AI definitely delivered some strong results, even if those occasional glitches can still show up. Alright, now we're moving on to tool number number 2, Google Flow. Just like Qwen, I'm going to throw 3 completely different high-action prompts at it and see how well it handles the details, movement, and overall realism. And I'm not going to lie, all 3 generations turned out really, really good. For the first one, we're putting the camera inside a tiny cable car crossing a massive mountain valley right in the middle of a violent storm. The cable is swinging hard, clouds and cliffs are rushing past outside, and lightning is lighting up the whole landscape. And wow, this one came out seriously clean. The movement feels natural, the storm adds a ton of atmosphere, and the scale of the mountains makes the shot look way bigger than you'd expect. Now let's switch gears completely with the second prompt. This time, we've got a rally car flying through a muddy forest track at full speed, sliding around corners with trees basically right next to the car. There's mud hitting the windshield, and the whole camera is moving with the suspension. And yeah, this generation is also damn good. The car feels like it has actual weight behind it, the turns look believable, and the muddy windshield makes the POV feel way more immersive. Alright, last one for Google Flow. We're taking a high-performance dune buggy across massive desert dunes at full speed, then launching it right over a huge ridge before hitting the ground hard on the other side. And this one is crazy good too. The sand flying around the vehicle looks great. The jump has a nice sense of momentum, and even the camera shake during the landing feels pretty natural. Honestly, Flow crushed all 3 tests here. The consistency is really solid, and there wasn't really a weak generation out of the bunch. And now we're down to tool number 1, Symphony. This one is from TikTok, and it's mainly aimed at people creating videos for ads, so I'm definitely curious to see how it handles these more cinematic prompts. I'm gonna put it through the same 3-generation test, and honestly, all 3 came out pretty damn good. For the first one, we're going with a mountain biking POV, flying downhill along this super narrow cliffside trail with a massive drop right below. There are loose rocks getting kicked up, sharp turns, and the bike suspension reacting to the rough terrain. And yeah, this looks really solid. The speed feels convincing, the camera movement doesn't feel too stiff, and that huge valley underneath makes the whole thing way more intense. For the second test, we're switching things up completely. This time, the camera is running through a packed, narrow street while a whole herd of bulls is charging from behind. There's dust everywhere, people moving around, and the camera has that fast, documentary-style movement. And honestly, this generation came out really well. The animal movement looks pretty natural, and the chaos in the scene makes it feel like something you could actually see in a real-world clip. Alright, one last generation for Symphony, and we're going for something way more cinematic. We've got a helicopter flying through thick mountain fog, and then suddenly it comes out right beside this absolutely massive waterfall dropping thousands of feet into a huge valley. Water spray hits the camera, the mountains stretch out in the background, and the whole reveal is supposed to feel massive. And wow, this one looks seriously good. The transition from the fog into the waterfall reveal works really nicely, and the scale of the environment makes the shot feel huge. Out of the 3 Symphony generations, this one is definitely my favorite. Overall, all 3 turned out really strong. Alright, after putting all 4 of these tools through the same kind of testing, I think we've got our winner. Google Flow takes it for me. The biggest reason is the consistency. It wasn't just one good generation. All 3 prompts came out strong, and the motion, detail, and overall realism stayed really solid across completely different scenes. But that's just my pick. You might look at the results and choose something totally different. So let me know in the comments which one you think actually deserves the number 1 spot. And if you want to try these tools yourself, I've left the resources and everything you need in the link in the description. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, you already know what to do, and I'll catch you in the next one.